Welcome to Module ACC WR 4.7, titled Inappropriate Shifts in Pronoun Person and Number. As you continue your route, navigating the houses and mailboxes of your neighborhood, consider that we are now entering the logic of identity and agreement. Pronouns are words that stand in for nouns, such as he, she, they, it, we, or you. For a sentence to be grammatically and rhetorically sound, a pronoun must agree with the noun it replaces, known as the antecedent in both person and number. On the accuplacer, a top-tier score requires you to be a consistency expert. The test makers are evaluating your ability to detect shifts where an author starts talking about a student, singular, but finishes the sentence talking about their, plural, or shifts from talking about one, third person to you, second person. These errors are incredibly common in casual speech, which is exactly why the College Board uses them to distinguish academic-level writers from the general public. To master this module, we must first break down the two dimensions of pronoun consistency, person and number. The first dimension is pronoun person. This refers to the point of view or the perspective from which the author is writing. There are 3 levels of person in English. First person involves the self, I, me, my, we, us, and our. It is used for personal narratives or collective advocacy. Second person involves the reader, you and your. It is used for direct instructions or informal addresses. Third person involves the subject, he, she, it, one, they, and them. This is the gold standard for academic writing because it is objective and detached. An inappropriate shift in person occurs when a writer establishes one perspective and then accidentally wanders into another. The most common error on the accuplacer is the second-person intrusion. This happens when an author is writing a formal, third-person essay and suddenly uses the word you. Listen to this error for your audio learning. When a person visits a national park, you should always stay on the marked trails to protect the local environment. Let us analyze the perspective profile of this sentence. The subject is a person, which is third person. But halfway through, the writer shifts to you, which is second person. This is an inappropriate shift. To achieve a top score, you must maintain the third-person perspective from the beginning to the end of the thought. The correct high-score version is, when a person visits a national park, he or she should always stay on the marked trails. Or even better, when people visit national parks, they should always stay on the marked trails. On Tuesday, if you see the word you in a passage that is otherwise formal and academic, your shift alarm should go off. The accuplacer expects you to choose a revision that replaces you with he or she, they or one. Another common shift in person involves the word one. One is a formal, singular third-person pronoun used to represent people in general. The trap is that many writers find one too stiff and shift back to you or we later in the paragraph. Error: if one wishes to succeed in the medical field, we must be prepared for years of intense study. The shift from one to we is an error. The correct version is, if one wishes to succeed in the medical field, one must be prepared for years of intense study. While this sounds repetitive to the ear, it is the only grammatically consistent option for a top-tier score. The second dimension is pronoun number. This refers to whether the pronoun is singular or plural. Number must be consistent with the noun it represents. If the noun is singular, like the doctor, the company, or the book, the pronoun must be singular like he, it, or its. If the noun is plural, like the doctors, the companies, or the books, the pronoun must be plural like they, them, or their. The inappropriate shift in number is the single most frequent grammar error in modern American English. In casual speech, we almost always use they or their to refer to a single person whose gender is unknown. We say, someone left their umbrella. While this is acceptable in conversation on the accuplacer, it is a number shift error. Someone is singular, there is plural. Listen to this classic accuplacer trap. Every student who wishes to graduate must submit their final thesis by the end of the semester. The antecedent is every student. The word every and each are always singular. Therefore, there is an inappropriate shift in number. The correct high score version is: every student who wishes to graduate must submit his or her final thesis. Or, as a top-tier editor, you can fix the problem by making the antecedent plural. All students who wish to graduate must submit their final theses. When you are taking the test next Tuesday, you must be a singular detective. Look for the words every, each, anyone, someone, nobody, and either. These words act as singular anchors. Any pronoun that refers back to them must also be singular. Let us dive deeper into the indefinite pronoun trap. Indefinite pronouns are words that don't refer to a specific person. Most of them are singular, even if they seem to refer to a group. Singular indefinite pronouns. Each, either, neither, one, everyone, everybody, everything, someone, somebody, something, anyone, anybody, anything, nobody, nothing. The test makers love to use neither, followed by a plural noun to trick you. Error: neither of the researchers has finished their report. The subject is neither, which is singular. The word researchers is just part of a prepositional phrase, it is not the subject. Therefore, there is a shift error. The correct version is: neither of the researchers has finished his or her report. Now let us discuss the collective noun shift. A collective noun is a word that represents a group of people but acts as a single unit. Common examples include committee, team, jury, audience, family, company, government, and faculty. In American English, as tested on the Inapropriate, these words are almost always singular. Listen to this error for your audio learning. The committee has reached its decision, and they will announce it tomorrow. Let us analyze the number profile of this sentence. The committee is a single unit, so the author correctly uses its singular in the first half. But then the author shifts to they, plural, in the second half. This is an inappropriate shift. The correct, consistent version is: the committee has reached its decision and will announce it tomorrow. Or, the committee has reached its decision and it will announce the results tomorrow. If you see a company name, like Microsoft or the City Council, treat it as an it, not a they. This is a major differentiator for top-tier scores. The fourth pillar is the ambiguous antecedent shift. This is a shift in clarity rather than just person or number. It occurs when a pronoun could refer to two different nouns, leaving the reader confused about the identity of the subject. Error: when the teachers met with the parents, they were very concerned about the test scores. Who was concerned? The teachers, the parents, or both? This is a reference shift. To fix this, you must replace the pronoun with a specific noun or restructure the sentence. Revision: the teachers were very concerned about the test scores when they met with the parents. Now, they clearly refers to the teachers because of its proximity. On the test, if you see the words this, that, it, or they, and you aren't 100% sure which noun they point to, the sentence needs a clarity revision. The fifth pillar involves gender-neutral language shifts. For decades, academic writing used he as the default for a single person. Modern writing prefers he or she, or restructuring the sentence to the plural. They. The Inapropriate will often give you a question where you have to choose between a number shift and gender neutrality. Example: a doctor must be careful when they prescribe medication. A doctor is singular, they is plural. This is a shift error. The test will offer you choice A, he or she prescribes, correct singular agreement. Choice B, doctors must be careful when they prescribe, correct plural agreement. Both A and B are grammatically correct. In this situation, the Inapropriate usually favors the pluralization, choice B, because it is more concise and avoids the clunky he or she phrasing. Always look for the option that makes the entire sentence plural to avoid the singular they error. The sixth pillar is the relative pronoun shift. This involves the words who, whom, whose, which, and that. Who and whom refer to people. Which and that refer to things. The shift error happens when an author treats a person as an it or a thing as a who. Error: the company who won the contract is located in Ohio. A company is an it, not a who. Correct: the company that won the contract is located in Ohio. Error: the students which finished the exam early may leave. Students are who, not which. Correct: the students who finished the exam early may leave. The seventh pillar involves shift in person for rhetorical effect. Sometimes, a shift in person is appropriate. For example, an author might move from an objective third-person description of a problem to a first-person, we, to call for collective action. Example: pollution is destroying the oceans. We must act now. This is not an error because the purpose of the writing changed. An inappropriate shift is one that happens by accident within the same purpose. If you are asked which sentence has a pronoun error, look for shifts that happen mid-thought or within a single sentence, where there is no logical reason for the persp. Active to change. Let us discuss the self-correction trap. The accuplacer will give you an answer choice that uses a reflexive pronoun like myself, himself, or themselves incorrectly. Error: the manager gave the assignment to the intern and myself. You cannot use myself unless you have already used I earlier in the sentence. Correct: the manager gave the assignment to the intern and me. If you aren't sure, remove the other person from the sentence. You wouldn't say the manager gave the assignment to myself. You would say to me. Therefore, to me is the correct choice. How do you tackle these questions on Tuesday? You must use the antecedent mapping strategy. Step 1. For every pronoun, draw a mental arrow back to the noun it replaces. Step 2. Ask, is the noun singular or plural? If plural, the pronoun must be plural. If singular, including each, every, everyone, the pronoun must be singular. Step 3. Ask, what person is the author using? I, you, or he, she, they. Ensure the pronoun matches that point of view. Step 4. Be on high alert for them and their. Check if they are referring back to a singular noun like a person, someone, or the company. If they are, it is an error. Step 5. Check for collective nouns. Treat the jury, the team, and the audience as a singular it. Let us analyze a complex shift passage for your audio learning. A traveler should always check the local laws before visiting a foreign country. You don't want to accidentally violate a regulation. If they are not careful, a person can find themselves in legal trouble. This is a pronoun nightmare. Sentence 1. A traveler, third person singular. Sentence 2. You, second person. This is an inappropriate shift in person. Sentence 3. If they are not careful, plural shift. A person can find themselves, plural shift. This is an inappropriate shift in number. A top-tier editor would revise this whole passage to be consistent. Revised version: travelers should always check local laws before visiting a foreign country. They do not want to accidentally violate a regulation. If they are not careful, they can find themselves in legal trouble. Now, everything is plural and third person. The rhythm is restored. As you finish this neighborhood on your route, think of pronouns as substitute male carriers. If the regular carrier, the noun, is sick, a sub, the pronoun, takes the route. If the regular carrier only delivers one street singular, the sub must also only deliver one street. If the sub tries to deliver for 5 carriers at once, plural, the male gets disorganized. And if the sub starts talking to the residents like a family member, second person, instead of a professional, third person, the professional tone is broken. Your job is to make sure the sub matches the regular in every single way. To summarize the essential strategies for module ACC WR 4.7. First, establish a point of view, usually third person, and stick with it. Avoid the you trap in formal essays. Second, treat every, each, anyone, and someone as singular nouns. Use singular pronouns to match them. Third, use its and it for collective nouns like the committee or the company. Fourth, avoid the singular they error on the test. If the subject is singular, the pronoun must be singular. he or she, or the subject must be made plural. Fifth, ensure who is used for people and that, or which is used for things. Sixth, use reflexive pronouns, myself, themselves, only when the subject is the same person. Seventh, eliminate ambiguous antecedents, where a pronoun could refer to two different nouns. Eighth, use antecedent mapping to double-check the logic of every they, it, and you on the screen. Ninth, identify and fix mid-sentence perspective shifts, where the author moves from objective to subjective. By mastering pronoun person and number, you are demonstrating a high level of grammatical precision. You are showing that you can keep track of complex relationships between subjects and descriptors over long stretches of text. This level of clarity is exactly what distinguishes a top-tier score on the ACC. At Hudson Valley Community College, your ability to write with consistent and clear pronouns will make your academic work more professional, readable, and authoritative. This concludes our deep dive into Module ACC WR 4.7. You have now completed the boundary and shift phase of the writing section. When you are ready to explore the specific rules of possessive determiners, our next target is Module ACC WR 5.1. Just say the word next when you are ready to proceed.